I always thought marriage meant real partnership, the kind where even if the world turned on you, you still fought side by side. Somewhere along the journey, though, my wife, Sarah, either forgot that promise, or maybe she never actually believed it in the first place. It began with small things. We'd go out with friends or co-workers, and suddenly she'd create distance between us like she didn't want anyone assuming we were too attached. I tried convincing myself I was overthinking. Maybe she just wanted to look independent. But it wasn't independence at all. It was rejection, disguised as effortless distance. Everything finally cracked open at her company's annual gala. She'd been excited for weeks. The dress, the venue, the chance to impress people. I saw it as a night to show up for her, to stand next to her as her support. But the second we walked inside, she shifted instantly. Her tone, her posture, her whole energy. Around her colleagues, she was suddenly bolder, louder, more charismatic. When I reached for her hand to share that moment with her, she smoothly pulled away like she'd practiced it. It wasn't the pull that broke me. It was what she whispered afterward. Don't let them think we're a couple. For a second, I couldn't breathe. That sentence cut deeper than any argument we'd ever had. This wasn't a fight behind closed doors. This was intentional. Public. She was telling me flat out. Being linked to me was a risk she didn't want. I just stared at her in disbelief. Did she really think being married to me was something she needed to hide? That hold in my hand would lower her status? She went right back to smiling across the room, like she hadn't just erased me with one sentence. Dinner became background noise. Her laughter felt like knives in my ears. Her hand, slipping from mine, replayed in my mind again and again. When she leaned in later telling me she wanted to network after the speeches, I didn't even speak. I stood up, pushed my chair back, and walked right out. I didn't turn around once. Not for her shocked face, not for the whispers, not even for the doorman as I stepped out. Because the woman who promised loyalty had just publicly chosen the opposite. And for the first time, I questioned whether leaving that night was temporary or forever. Back home, the silence hit just as hard. The house full of our memories suddenly felt like some stranger's museum. I stared at a photo of us. Sarah resting her head on my shoulder, both of us smiling like we owned the future. Now it just felt cruel. I replayed her whisper in my head over and over again. Don't let them think we're a couple. It wasn't insecurity. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was intentional erasure. For years, I tolerated her subtle dismissals. She'd never introduced me as her husband, just, "This is Kevin." She brushed off simple affection. I accepted it. I gave space. That space turned into distance. Distance into walls. Later that night, when she finally came home, she looked shocked seeing me sitting there in my suit, glass untouched. "You left without saying anything," she snapped, more annoyed than worried. I let out a hollow laugh. The kind pain forces out when words fail. Why would I stay? So you could pretend longer that we're not together? Her face went rigid. "Kevin, don't make this a big deal." To think what? I cut in. That you're married? That the man who supported you through every breakdown, every promotion, every storm isn't worth standing next to? She said nothing. Silence told me everything. I stood, anger mixed with years of swallowing my pride. If you don't want to be seen as my wife, maybe you shouldn't be. Her eyes widened, because she never expected me to actually push back. I walked past her. I didn't sleep there that night. I drove until the city was just behind me, until the night sky and open road swallowed my noise. For the first time in a long time, I felt the possibility of freedom. The next morning when I came back, she was waiting, arms crossed, storm in her expression. "You disappearing like that was reckless," she snapped. Her words barely scratched me. "Reckless?" I echoed. "You erased me in front of your colleagues. Told me not to let anyone see us as together, and I'm the reckless one?" She almost spoke, then didn't. The silence was huge. But this time, I didn't rush to fix it. Eventually, her voice softened. "I didn't mean it like that." "Then explain it." I said flatly, because it was very clear. She scrambled for justification. I hate people knowing too much about my private life. It makes me feel trapped, judged." So being my wife feels like a trap? I asked. Her silence answered everything. I set my mug down, louder than I planned. Sarah, I've loved you since the moment I met you. I fought for us every time you pulled away. I swallowed my pride every time you made me feel invisible. But last night, when you asked me to pretend we're not together, something inside me shattered. I finally saw the truth. I was holding on to a version of us that only existed in my head. Her eyes filled with tears. But I didn't move toward her. Not this time. I can't be with someone who's ashamed to be seen with me, I said. You already showed me how you see us. She reached out, but I stepped back. For once, I stopped chasing. That afternoon, I packed a small bag. I didn't need much. I just needed to go. As I zipped it shut, I looked around that house one last time. The memories felt empty now, like props from a set. When I walked out, Sarah stood in the hallway crying quietly. But I didn't turn back this time, because last night, I realized I had already lost her. And maybe now, it was finally time to find myself again.